and welcome back to Yoshi's Woolly World on the Nintendo Wii U. I am One Wild Sheep yet again, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be finishing off the rest of World 1. And to start things off, let's see what new Yoshi we get. We get the Shy Guy Yoshi, and I love the design of the Shy Guy Yoshi, just because it looks like he's wearing the Shy Guy mask, even though it's actually part of the Yoshi skin, which is really terrifying if you think about it. I don't know, I like this one. It's one of my favorite Yoshi designs that I've come across so far in the game. But we are gonna be entering good old Claw Daddy Beach, a beach level, ladies and gentlemen. And a lot of you know my, well, not so much hatred, I'm usually really indifferent to them, but there's a lot of water levels in gaming that I'm really not a fond of, right? This isn't a water level, this is a beach level, and usually beach levels are my favourite types of levels in all kinds of games, just because the music tends to be always amazing every time there's a beach stage, and there's usually a little bit of water, but it's not enough to impede the progress. It's not enough to ruin me, and I just love the stage. I love the music, I love the atmosphere, it's so good. I mean, we've got these Shy Guys that aren't even attacking us. I kind of feel sorry for them, because as we're just running around as a Yoshi, a giant dinosaur, eating all these creatures who just, from the most part, looks like they're just having fun. They're just sitting in the sand, you know, having a sunbathe, having a nice relaxing vacation. But we do have a new enemy type by here. This is a crab meat purse thing, I guess. And basically the only way you can kill these things is by ground pounding them on the head. Well, that's not the only way, that's the main way you're going to be killing them. Because you can also kill them just by shooting your yarn balls right at them, which will stun them temporarily, allowing you to allowing you to just simply jump into them normally, which you may see me do a bit later on. But for the most part, you can't jump on them normally without ground pounding them. That's the main sort of shindig. And if they do catch you in their line of sight, their little claw thing will grow in size and they will try to nip you. And of course, scissors on something made of wool, it's super effective, yo. You don't want to be clipped by these guys. Obviously, they're not one-hit kill, because having one-hit kill enemies this early in the game would be kind of dickish for on Nintendo's part, but I don't know. But anyway, one thing you'll notice is Yoshi can't actually go underwater. So how are we going to manipulate the way to go under certain areas? Because if you'll notice, there's loads of areas in which case we do need to apparently seemingly go underwater. Well, basically you need to manipulate the physics of the ground pound. Because if you notice, whenever you jump in water, you'll go to a certain point and then you'll just float back to the surface. But when you ground pound into the water, then you'll go flying underneath, and there's a couple of puzzles that involve that sort of mechanic a bit later on. Damn you, crab meat, I thought I was done with you type of enemies back in Metropolis Zone and Sonic 2, but no. But yeah, if you land on an enemy normally, it will just stun them. Well, these guys, kind of strange. Although they do get like little band-aids on, like, well, I guess it's sort of like purses, so on the main purse of the enemy, it looks like they have band-aids on, which makes me wonder, how much does Yoshi weigh? I mean, Jesus. Actually, now that I think about it, probably weighs a lot considering it's a dinosaur. And yes, I am ignoring the fact that this Yoshi is made of wool, because otherwise it doesn't weigh a lot at all. It's made of wool, for God's sake. But anyway, it's time for yet another power-up, ladies and gentlemen, and this power-up is probably one of my favourite power-ups in the game, just because it satisfies my gotta go fast mentality. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Bike Yoshi. Oh, okay, sorry. Moto Yoshi. Oh, I gotta be politically correct. Basically, you move forward and you push the A button at the right times in order to jump. This is, as you would expect, it's a gotta go fast power-up. And to be fair, all you really need to do is look and you'll be able to easily work out the best times to sort of jump. You know, it's an easy power-up to get through. This is one of the easiest sequences of power-ups to get through. So, yeah, as long as you don't miss any jumps, you should be fine. And I don't know, I kind of like this, because it's just a nice little thrill ride, and Lord, you know, that's a big reason why I'm a very big fan of Sonic games, you know. But yeah, with 7 seconds to spare, there's that done. Honestly, I'm kind of hoping later on in the game we actually get more Moto Yoshi sections like that with a bit more added difficulty, because as fun as that is, it's very short. So if later in the game we end up having something that's a bit longer and a bit more challenging with that type of gameplay, I'll be more than happy. But of course, it's still early days yet. Anyway, remember when I said we have to use ground pounds to manipulate the way the water physics work? Well, we need to do it by here to get into this pipe. And inside this pipe, we actually have a reoccurring power-up that used to be in the old Super Nintendo Yoshi games, and I'm not sure if they're in any other Yoshi games because, to be perfectly honest, I don't really play most of the Yoshi games that often. Basically, we can shoot watermelon seeds out of our mouth as long as we eat a watermelon. And basically, whenever you eat a watermelon, hold one in your mouth, hold down the B button, and you can rapid fire the seeds out at enemies. And I just love that, you know, it's like having a gun in a game without guns. I know one person out there is probably going to be wondering, oh, where's our Yoshi game with the edgy guns and motorcycles? Well, this game kind of has the motorcycles, but don't worry, we're not going to have any Shadow the Hedgehog style Yoshi games. At least I'd hope not. If Nintendo ever make a Shadow the Hedgehog-esque Yoshi game, I don't know what I'd have to say about them. But I digress. Anyway, this can be an easy woolly thing to miss. Just hold on up when you get to the middle of this little cross sequence here, and you should be able to jump up and pick it up just fine. And I kind of find this sequence a bit awkward to navigate, just because you can only really shoot your seeds either straight up or straight left or straight right. There's no diagonal control, so you can... I always have a bit of issue just trying to get through these sequences, and because the sand is a bit... I'm assuming this is sand. It's a bit low, so you have to continuously jump in order to jump into the water and whatnot. By the way, I can't stress enough how much I love the water graphics. And it's strange for me to say, because loads of people who may... Well, loads of people who do know me, not may know me, they'll know one thing about me. I love my water graphics in games. If a game has good water graphics, I will be impressed. It's as simple as that. And normally good water graphics for me equals either ultra realistic or just ultra shiny and nice to look at. But I'm surprised they pulled the water off the same way they did by here. Because all they did is they just got like a little blue thing. You know, just a blue bottom and just made lines of... You know, lines of wool across it. It just looks really good. I don't know. I'm surprised they managed to pull off a wool water effect. It's something I've never seen be done before in a game, and I really do love it. Like, and this, people who say Nintendo's not original, play this game. I mean, you can say much about the gameplay, as for all I care, because the gameplay is general Yoshi fare without the bloody babies, which I'm actually content by. Because if anyone's played the old Yoshi games, like on the Super Nintendo, like, well, just the first Yoshi game, for example, you had to carry on Baby Mario on your back, and every time you get hit, basically you have a timer system, so you had to pick up Baby Mario before the timer went to 0, and while Baby Mario's flying around while you're trying to pick him back up, all you'll hear throughout the course of the entire thing is, where, and it drives me off the wall batshit insane, if you excuse my French. It freaks me out. I can't stand that noise. And that's actually what kind of sold me on this game. Like, as soon as I saw they had a similar life health system to the old games, while removing Baby Mario and just the baby characters, I was instantly sold. I was like, yes! No more obnoxious crying for me whenever I make a mistake. Oh, thank heavens for that. Ugh. But anyway, life's a beach. Beach, please! But with that is the end of that. So now we head on to basically the final stage in World 1, which is the obligatory castle stage. And anyone who's played the original Yoshi's Island may recognize Yoshi Melon, that's amazing. May recognize the boss in this stage. Why? I'm not going to spoil it, but people who know the boss by name might actually get spoiled by it the moment we enter the stage right now. So let's switch out the good old Yoshi Melon and get our water goodness into Bert the Bashful's fortress. And if anyone, Bert the Bashful, I like him. And I like him as a boss, and thank you, Miiverse, for spoiling what he looks like. God, Yoshi Snake, what the hell? Anyway, I have to say, I found it's quite strange for me to say, but the background music in this castle, I don't know if the music in the castle stages are all the same throughout the course of the game, but I find it really creepy. I don't know, it's so strange to have this very cartoony, woolen, happy-go-lucky adventure, but then I'm freaked out by the music. It just sounds creepy as hell. This is something I would... Like, the music in this castle, I would chuck in Castlevania and it would fit. It's freaky as hell. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm not hardcore enough for the crowd this game's catering to, but I digress. Anyway, those enemies down below, we can kill them, I believe, by throwing Yoshi yarn balls at them, but there's no real need to, so I just basically use them as platforms in order to go on up, which we need to because this castle is quite dickish in terms of the locations in which the happy faces are located. Why? Well, by here we need to jump on these guys, otherwise the beads and whatnot won't spawn. And, of course, we won't be able to collect everything without jumping on them, so... But you'll find loads of areas just where you think there's not enough room for you to jump on. You know, like, you'll see an alcove later on that's literally off the screen. I jump off the screen to collect something, and I can see some people thinking that's a bit evil in the game's developer's part. I mean, again, I found it pretty much my first time through in the game, but I'm really used to these type of games where I'm just basically jumping into walls just to see what's new, so, trust me, you guys are glad I'm not doing this live as a blind LP, because the entire time I'm just going to be sitting there going, what's behind this wall? Nothing, it's just a wall. What about this one? This one's also just a wall. Also, one thing I want to make note of as well, which I haven't really brought up, is Yoshi's flutter jump. Whenever you're doing it, if you're good enough at timing the jump button, you can actually stay in the air for an infinite amount of time. Now, this is basically mandatory to get through certain sections of the game. For example, the next section, and this is what I was on about, like, there's actually a wall by here you can jump over, so be careful. It's a very easy happy flower to miss. It makes me not a happy flower, I tell you that much. But we're actually going to be taking on another stage in this part that's still in World 1. It's going to be a special stage to be unlocked by collecting all the happy faces. And, basically, that stage, if you don't know how to manipulate the flutter jump properly so you can stay in the air infinitely, that stage is, it's challenging. And that's the blunt way upon it. It's, God, I'll talk about that stage when we get to it. Because it's probably the first stage in the game where I could say has real challenge. Like, whenever I mess up in these stages by here, it's purely because of my own fault. Like, I play like an idiot and it's as simple as that, but... No, that the upcoming stage has legitimate challenge, so can't really wait to show that off. What can I say? Anyway, this key by here, whenever you enter castle stages, keys are usually pretty common. They're also in the old Yoshi games as well. All you really need to bother with those keys is pick them up because they open up the doorways. The doorways lead you to the boss rooms. So yeah, mandatory key. Gotta get them. Gotta get them. What can I say? It's the key to our progression, if you will. Get it? Because it's a literal key. No one? No one? Well, I entertained myself with that joke, so the joke's on you, I guess. God, sense of humor on people these days. But I digress. Anyway, just backtrack a little bit to the door, and I don't know if these get any more cryptic in the way the doors are handled, because I know in the old Yoshi games, after like the first world or so, keys started becoming common in standard levels, and they used to be pretty tricksy to basically find everything in each of the stages, because there's loads of hidden pathways you can take. I don't know if this game's going to get like that in terms of design like the old games, so I don't know. But this is where the platform is going to be kind of tricky just to get used to, because, well, you got all these yarn balls, you see? You got to jump on the yarn balls, and it's so easy just to, well, fall off the yarn balls. Like, as you can see by here, I'm barely struggling to stay on. And unfortunately, the game designers are smart enough to make us not be able to ground pound these. What are they, jam jars? Yeah, I think they look like jam jars. The game developers are smart enough to let us not ground pound the jam jars to collect all the beads inside, which is kind of a shame. Kind of a shame. It would help me out greatly, you know. But I digress. Anyway, I actually had quite a bit of trouble on my test playthrough with that this guy by here that I had to jump up to collect the thingies, because I don't know, I always kept jumping into him and he kept knocking me into the pits. I had some great difficulty getting him for some reason. And this isn't even particularly a hard stage, like it's still early days into the game. Although you're about to see me do something absolutely stupid. This is how not to platform, ladies and gentlemen. No! No! Whoops. So yeah, just don't do that, people. Don't do that, ladies and gentlemen. And one thing that I should say is whenever you do die in this game, you will lose all progression past a certain checkpoint. So every collectible you collected up until the point you died, you will need to collect again. So I can see a lot of difficulty in the later stages of the game possibly coming from that, but whoa, Tim, gotta go fast. Uh-oh. Bert's lair is, gotta speed up. I think that's twice I made the exact same joke in this playthrough. I'm becoming unoriginal. But anyway, as we go through the big mean doors, time for the boss battle, and Kamek, you again. Where they can't pull the wool over our eyes.
Yoshi, sir, are persistent. I assumed you'd run over now. Fine, Bert. Hitch up your trousers and
something Yoshi. Doesn't give me enough time to read. Good God. But anyway, as you can tell, the music is... Actually, the music in this boss fight reminds me of Croc, Legend of the Gobbos, if anyone's played that game on the PS1. And if you haven't, trust me, play that game. It's absolutely amazing. But basically what Bert is going to do for the most part is he's going to jump around and you basically throw yarn balls at him. Whenever you throw a yarn ball at him, he'll become vulnerable, so you can just pull like the laces off of his bottoms to nibble him up, you know. It's not quite nibbling him on the buttocks, but I guess it's nibbling him on the crotch area. So just continue rinsing and repeating the pattern until he dies. And he'll also spawn in enemies from off screen that you can basically ignore completely. Just aim all yarn balls directly at Bert himself and it's easy enough. It's the first major boss of the game. It shouldn't be any difficulty. If it's too difficult for you guys, I don't know what to say. You're playing the wrong game. Play Tetris or something. Yeah, go play Tetris. Actually, I say Tetris, but Tetris is bloody difficult. I mean, and plus it's an infinite game, judging how good you are. So, did I just say wrecking wool? Wow. Well, we did wreck the boss, so I guess it's sort of fitting. I mean, we did come in like a wrecking wall. No one? Okay. But with that, we actually unlocked Bert the Yoshi, and I love the design for Bert the Yoshi because it's just the boss transformed into a Yoshi. I don't know, I love that. It's such a neat little design. But anyway, now we have unlocked the special stage, and like I said earlier on, it unlocks only whenever we have access to all of the happy flowers in a given world. And I believe every single world has one of these unlockable stages we can access, so just get collecting on those happy faces unless you don't really want to bother. And of course we're switching out to Bert the Yoshi because, I don't know, I love the way he looks. It's just amazing. It just looks like he's a Yoshi wearing his shorts. I don't know, I love him. But like I said, this stage is difficult. Like, it can be really tricky if you don't know what you're doing, ladies and gentlemen. Because you have to basically manipulate the hover, flutter, jump ability in order to... Well, basically in order to just simply survive, because the entire stage involves all these water spouts popping up from the floor, and obviously you need to time your jumps in order to land on these water spouts. And of course, assigned with loads of collecting and whatnot, it can be a hard time if you haven't got good control. In fact, my big reason why I struggle with this stage is purely because I couldn't get the hang of the controlling Yoshi in the air. while trying to manipulate throwing things at the same time to get stuff like these clouds, for example. But all the music in this level is, oh my god. I'm loving the soundtrack. Like, if there's an option in the future to buy the soundtrack on like iTunes or something, I might actually be tempted to pick it up, because the soundtrack is just... This game is worth owning for the soundtrack alone, ladies and gentlemen, you know? And I'm still only on the first world. I don't even know what the rest of the game sounds like, but just judging by the first world alone, I just love that. Anyway, I don't know how I survived then, because I clearly should have got Goomba stomped by that shy guy coming out of the pipes, but I don't know. And general rule of thumb is whenever you see enemies popping out of pipes, basically what it means is simply the enemies are... They're permanently going to continuously spawn out of those pipes. So, whenever you see an enemy jump out of a pipe, you can always guarantee that you can use them at some point in the future as an infinite supply of ammunition if you are ever low on yarn balls, which you can throw. So yeah, it's usually best to take a slow rhythmic approach to this level, I do feel, because granted the rest of the game I always play, I've been playing slow and rhythmically, but this stage in particular, just due to the very nature of how tricky it is. Like how close I was too close to reaching the bottom of the screen. And if you have like the bottomless pit badge available to you, I recommend equipping that, collecting it and equipping it purely for the stage alone, and it will make your time just that much easier. Whenever you also, as well, if you get eaten by one of the piranha flower things that are in the world, you will actually lose all of your yarn ball temporarily, so just be a bit careful of that. And oh my god, my wee heart. Yeah, whenever you get eaten by one of those things, you will lose all of your yarn balls, regardless of how many you actually have access to at this point in time. So just be a bit careful, try not to get nibbled on the buttocks, and you should be fine. I've been saying that a hell of a lot since I made that joke in Banjo-Kazooie, haven't I? But I digress. Nobody likes being nibbled on the buttocks, what can I say? Die, fiend! But yeah, just take a slower approach, that's mainly my best advice by here. And if you get caught within the currents of like the water spouts popping up from the bottom of the screen, if you do a flutter jump thingy, when you're inside the water current, you will basically fly up to the top of the water. So you'll land on a platform just fine, which is good. It's really good, it's really handy. And if you find yourself way too surrounded by all these like shy guys and what have you, a good way to deal with shy guys usually is just to pick them up and spit them out at each other, because it's really a quick way to deal with them instead of having them deal with aiming and what have you. Like by here in a minute, you're going to see me use... I'm going to be spitting out most of the shy guys just because it'll be a quicker way to deal with them, and we need to kill them and get to that pipe on the far left, because otherwise, well, good luck. It's basically what I like to call rapid fire, spitfire. Oh, there we go, I can call it spitfire wool, because technically we're spitting it out, and spitfire is also a gun term, I believe, so, yeah, double pun! Alright! But there we go, it's a nice little stage. I love the music, I love the level design of that one. It's really tricky to get through, but, you know, when you do get through it, despite the stress it induces on probably your thumbs, it's good fun. It's good fun. So yeah, I can dig it. By the way, that second Miiverse post is bloody true. Trying to get through the stage with 20 hearts is so damn hard. It's part of the reason why I'm not bothering to collect all of the hearts and whatnot in this playthrough, just because it's more work than I think is really needed, you know? But our reward for collecting all the yarn wool things is the Wii U Yoshi. I love the art style of this one, actually, the blue and black. I don't know, it's just a nice colour scheme, I like that. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this part, so thank you all for watching, hope you all enjoyed, don't be sheepish people, when we return next time, we'll be tackling World 2 of the game. So thanks for watching, hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all then. Bye!